a world devastated by a virus that transforms people into zombies within 48 hours, Andy and Kay, along with their 1-year-old daughter Rosie, seek refuge on a houseboat in rural Australia to avoid the infected. One evening, while searching for a safe place to spend the night, Andy notices 2 children playing by the riverbank. He waves at them and tries to engage in conversation, but their father, suspicious of strangers, pulls out a gun and forces Andy to move along. Kay points out that their food supplies are dwindling and suggests they go ashore to gather provisions. Andy, however, dismisses the idea, terrified of what they might encounter. Soon after, Andy comes across an abandoned boat on the riverbank and decides to investigate. Inside, he gathers food and a bottle of wine, but when he hears strange noises behind a door, he chooses to retreat rather than take any chances. Determined to find more supplies, Kay later ventures to the boat alone, unaware of the lurking danger. As she searches the boat, she is suddenly attacked and bitten by a zombie. Back on the houseboat, Andy is awakened by Rosie's cries and sets out to find Kay. Following a trail of blood, he discovers her in the bathroom, desperately trying to stop the bleeding from a bite on her knee. She then uses a bracelet that counts down the time before an infected person fully transforms, along with an infusion meant to ease the transition into a zombie state. After a tense discussion, the couple decides to leave the houseboat and seek medical help on land. Meanwhile, a young Aboriginal girl named Thumi tosses a dead rabbit into a hole, seemingly feeding something. Strange noises emerge from within, but she covers her ears, blocking out the unsettling sounds. Elsewhere, Andy and Kay locate a car and barely escape an attacking zombie as they drive off. Later, while Andy studies a map, Kay changes Rosie's diaper. She suddenly collapses, vomiting blood as the infection tightens its grip. Andy tries to calm her, but her condition worsens. Meanwhile, Thumi continues her strange ritual, this time throwing a snake into the hole. Back in the car, Kay's wound begins oozing yellow sludge. She angrily accuses Andy of hiding the severity of her infection and worries about infecting their daughter. Andy reassures her, convincing her to stay with him. To prevent her from fleeing in panic, he smashes the car's doorknob. As they continue their journey, Andy becomes distracted by a man on the road, leading to a devastating car crash. He loses consciousness, and when he comes to his senses, he discovers that Kay has fully transformed into a zombie. Her face is grotesquely covered in yellow pus. In a desperate struggle to escape with Rosie, Andy gets bitten by Kay. He straps Rosie onto his back and places Kay's countdown bracelet on himself. Rosie, missing her mother, cries uncontrollably, but Andy soothes her by spraying Kay's perfume. During a rest stop, Andy encounters the man who caused their accident, now a zombie. Before the creature can attack, Thumi appears, bravely trying to distract it. It is then revealed that the zombie is her father. Thumi cuts her own hand, drawing her father's attention away from Andy and Rosie. Later, Andy arrives at a school where he meets Etta, a retired teacher. She tends to his wounds and explains that most of the Aboriginal people, including many of her former students, have left the area. She offers Andy and Rosie shelter for the night. That evening, Andy experiences his first seizure due to the infection, vomiting blood before losing consciousness. The next morning, Etta advises him to avoid the Aboriginal community, as they kill any infected individuals on sight. With little time left before his transformation, Andy sets out once more to find safety for Rosie. Along the way, he stops at some ruins to give her water. As he rushes out, he stumbles upon a car and attempts to steal it, but before he can, a man named Vic intervenes, saving him from the approaching zombie. Vic is trapped beneath a tank and offers Andy the car keys in exchange for his help in getting free. Andy agrees, and after removing the debris, he starts the car and the two flee, leaving the zombies behind. Vic takes Andy to a gas plant outpost where he once worked. There, he introduces Andy to his wife Lorraine. Vic then suggests that Andy leave Rosie with Lorraine while they go hunting. Vic believes that when the world returns to normal, money will regain its value, so he kills zombies and loots their possessions. He even uses live humans as bait to trap the zombies. Andy discovers that Vic has taken Thumi hostage, which enrages him. Meanwhile, Lorraine looks after Rosie and notices strange yellow slime on her belly. Later, Andy realizes his infection is progressing. He notices his hand twitching, which is a clear sign that time is running out. Knowing that Rosie is in safe hands, he goes outside to end his life. However, Lorraine stops him, revealing that she is not Vic's wife. She explains that Vic sacrificed her real husband and other workers to save himself. Before they can discuss further, Vic appears and knocks Andy unconscious. Andy wakes up inside a cage with Thumi. Together, they devise a plan to escape by tying raw guts to a rope, luring zombies toward the cage. When the zombies tug on the rope, the cage door opens, allowing them to flee. They return to the outpost and convince Lorraine to leave with them. As they attempt to escape, Vic catches up and begins shooting. Lorraine tries to stop him, but in the chaos, he accidentally kills her. Andy and Thumi flee into a gorge, where they spend the night freeing themselves from their chains. The next morning, Thumi discovers her father's lifeless body, hanging in a tree. Andy tries to console her, but she pushes him away, and he walks off. However, when Rosie starts crying, Thumi rushes back to help. They travel by motorboat to a campsite where Andy last saw a family. Upon arrival, they find an abandoned RV. Andy searches the area and eventually finds the father, who reveals that he has been infected. The man offers Andy a loaded gun with 6 bullets, instructing him to keep 2 for himself after using the rest on his family. Andy tries to dissuade the man from taking their lives, but he is unsuccessful. Moments later, 4 gunshots ring out in the distance. Andy, shaken by the experience, considers using the gun on himself. However, Thumi arrives and tells him she's ready to return home. She proposes that Andy follow her and leave Rosie with the Aboriginal community. Andy agrees, and they head towards smoke rising from a nearby hill. As they continue their journey, Andy's transformation accelerates. With only moments of clarity left, he begs Thumi to promise she will take care of Rosie. To prevent himself from harming anyone, he covers his mouth and binds his wrists. Eventually, Andy fully succumbs to the virus and turns into a zombie. Despite this, his instincts lead him to carry Rosie and Thumi on his back. Guided by a piece of flesh tied to a stick, they finally reach the Aboriginal camp. The warriors capture Andy, while Thumi and Rosie are welcomed by Thumi's mother. Just as one of the warriors is about to kill Andy with a spear, Thumi intervenes. She sprays Kay's perfume, triggering a brief moment of awareness in Andy, allowing him to recognize that Rosie is safe. With peace in her heart, Thumi gives the warrior permission to end Andy's suffering. In the final scene, the Aboriginal community is seen traveling to their shelter, greeted warmly by their tribe. Thumi and her mother care for Rosie, ensuring she has a new home among them.